And good morning. Welcome to This Day.
Good morning. Today is Thursday, December 5th, and it's National Repeal Day. And there's one amendment that was repealed quite some time ago, and we're going to tell you a little bit about that.
Yeah.
Cheers to that.
Yes, cheers to that. All right. And cheers to our show today. We have the old pros on today in the form of Miranda McPhee. She's going to talk about what's going on with them. Joan Milliman will be here talking about the Roberts Rules Study Club. That will be happening not this Saturday, but the following Saturday. And we have a couple guests from the Republican Club. They have an event coming up on December 10th.
We have one meeting for you today. We have the third Landscape Committee meeting, and that will be in the boardroom at 9:30. Okay, so by the 1830s, consumption of alcohol, especially hard spirits, was affecting the nation. Most participants were male. Those who joined the temperance movement saw alcohol as the root of all evil. The movement took hold at a time when women had few rights and the country was debating slavery. The temperance movement shifted the view on alcohol use from moderation to eradication. In 1919, the 18th Amendment was ratified, banning the production, transportation, and sale of alcoholic beverages. However, the legislation did not prohibit the consumption of such drinks. The amendment went into effect in 1920, and numerous businesses closed. Beyond the loss of brewers and bars, governments lost tax revenue. Additionally, the cost of enforcing prohibition was very expensive. Those determined to produce, transport, and sell alcohol created a black market that crisscrossed the nation. Their illicit methods became notorious and the stuff of legends. In 1929, the stock market crashed. During the year of Prohibition, use of the term gangster, moonshine, and bootlegger would reach its peak usage as Prohibition neared the end of its lifespan. Congress proposed the 21st Amendment to the Constitution on February 20th, 1933. This amendment repealed the 18th Amendment and was ratified on December 5th, and Prohibition was over. There you go. And there's Ken. Yippee.
Yippee.
Cheers to no prohibition. Ha ha.
You like that picture?
That's adorable. Good thing you didn't put one of me in there.
I know. That's a picture of me and Becca. Becca was probably a year old. So that was like
Cute.
12 years ago. And no, she was just drinking whatever it was, probably apple juice. And I was not drinking apple juice.
Yes, I'm sure you weren't.
But we were both enjoying cocktail time together. All right. Well, our weather today is going to be mostly sunny. There'll be a few scattered clouds out. Now, there was a little bit of drizzle early on this morning in certain areas, but that is pretty much gone. And we're going to have a nice day out, cool, but very beautiful out. Now, tomorrow and Saturday and Sunday, rain is due into Orange County tomorrow evening. Now, it looks as though it could come in as early as 6 o'clock, maybe a little bit later than that. That can shift, of course, but do expect that. Then on Saturday and Sunday, both days have 40% chance of rain. And what that really means is, 40% of Southern California will probably get rain, particularly in Orange County once again, because this is another system that is sort of coming up from the south. So do expect that Saturday and Sunday. It's not going to be as much as we just had, but, it is going to be scattered showers, maybe up to a ½ inch total for those 2 days. And then on Monday, we're going to start to clear up, and it's going to be quite nice out. Now, yesterday, we got at my house, it was just over an inch of rain. So that was a decent amount of rain in about 24 hours. Here we are. Our temperatures are, foothills are actually 65 degrees. But look at Palm Springs. This is what I want to keep pointing out. Palm Springs, for the last, I want to say, week and a half to 2 weeks, has been no warmer than here in Orange County. And So that's kind of unusual. Usually they are a bit warmer, and that's just because of the system that is out there. It's just producing some really cold weather. And now for us, even staying in the 60s, going down to 50s, even to the upper 40s overnight, for this amount of time, it's been like a couple weeks, is fairly unusual for us to be there for this long, but really unusual for Palm Springs to be this cold this early in the season. All right, we'll be back in just a moment.
Now at LA Carpet & More, you can transform your kitchen and bath and get 50% off. Plus, get 5 years 0% financing. Call 800-684-4100 for an appointment or visit one of our closest showrooms.
LA Carpet, #1 for you.
Now at LA Carpet & More, you can transform your kitchen and bath and get 50% off. Plus, get 5 years 0% financing. Call 800-684-4100 for an appointment or visit one of our closest showrooms.
LA Carpet, #1 for you.
Living and learning in Laguna Woods Village is a unique experience. For over 40 years, the Emeritus Institute has provided tuition-free college classes within your community. Join us to experience expert faculty, quality academics, and to make new friends through the Emeritus Institute. New classes start every semester, and you can join nearly any time. Visit our office at Clubhouse 4 or anytime at saddleback.edu/emeritus. Learn, live, and thrive with the Emeritus Institute.
You may know AgeWell for delivering life-saving Meals on Wheels to homebound seniors, but did you know they keep seniors active and engaged at 10 modern centers? Serve nutritious congregate meals amid friendly surroundings, transport seniors safely to and from appointments, and provide much-needed equipment and other essential services. Now, this vital nonprofit organization needs your support to sustain its mission. This is AgeWell Senior Services. Won't you make it yours?
Anyone who calls it a hobby doesn't understand. We know that a person's passion is what drives them. And that's why every memorial we create is a true reflection of the individual. Only a Dignity Memorial professional can celebrate a life like no other. Find out how at dignityorangecounty.com.
Welcome back. We have Miranda McPhee, who is here on behalf of the Old Pros, and we were just going over their latest adventure on the Spotify here on my phone, and it is the Old Pros Radio Hour.
Yes.
Well, tell me about it.
We went live a couple of weeks ago. We've got a series of podcasts. We've got 7 up there now. So, and every Friday we put up a new one. So there's another one coming up tomorrow.
Right.
And these are original stories written by people who live in the woods, and we record them at the video club. We've got a little sound booth there they built for us, so it's in partnership with the video club.
Yes.
And then we broadcast them, and you can access them either as a podcast on your phone,
yes,
or you can just go to, like internet radio, you can go to the website and just click on it and read it, because not everybody has a smartphone.
Right.
So you have a choice as to when and where you read it. And we've had hundreds of people, hundreds of listens so far. Really everywhere. I mean, we've got, my nephew in London listening. We've got somebody in India listening. We've got people in Israel who've logged in. So it's really interesting to see some of these statistics starting to show. I mean, we're only a couple of weeks in, so it takes a while of, hey, have you heard?
Right.
And as we bring on more authors' stories and more readers, there'll be a lot of word of mouth, I think. We do have flyers out, but it's very much a, have you heard this story?
Okay. How many people are participating in the radio program?
Quite a lot. We have a core team of the producers. We have to find the material and put that together and create the podcast. And then we have every Saturday about 5 of us meet in the video club with the director and the recording, and then it goes into the editing process, so that may be somebody else or it's one of the team.
Right.
And then it comes through that whole cycle. And Bill Hemberger is the host on it, so he's the voice that you hear, and he puts the podcast together. So it's quite a team.
Wow, that is awesome. And then how many people at one time are in the booth recording? Is it
2?
Only
It's
2.
It's a very small booth.
Yeah, it's a pretty small booth, so I'm imagining you can't fit too many. Yeah.
Generally it's 1, but we can deal with 2, but they have to be standing up.
Is it in character, or how does that work?
Well, it's reading a story. So sometimes you might be reading a story with no dialogue, but then we've had a couple of stories where there have been different characters coming in, and we use actors who can characterize the voices and play the old woman or the young child or the Westerner. So we've got Midwestern accents, because you never know what the story is going to be, and there's such a variety. We have everything from Brett Halsey talking about some of the anecdotes when he was a movie star. And we've got some humorous life tales, and then we've got some fiction from the Midwest. Tomorrow's stories are 2 set in Mexico. And it's just really interesting to listen to. We don't close the door on pretty much any subject other than say it's PG rated.
Right.
And so we don't know always what we're going to get. So we're starting to get a lot of interesting stories coming in. And I think the more people listen, the more they'll go, oh, I've got a story that
that
like
would be
that.
fun. Sure.
And we have one series called Famous Acquaintances, because in a village this size, people have known people.
Of course.
Somebody went to college with Barbara Streisand. Somebody has met Jonathan Winters, and so you've got a whole bunch of these. And when people start to listen, they'll say, oh, I met so-and-so, I have a story. And our answer is, we'd love to hear it. Please write it down.
That is awesome. So how is it that people can send in a story? How does that work?
So our website is ocoldprose.org. And on the front page, there's a blue Old Prose Radio Hour logo. And if you click on that, it will take you to the whole page, which gives you the criteria, tells you where to send them. My telephone number is on that page if you've got any questions, the email address, so everything is there.
That is so exciting.
And I think we would like to encourage people, people often say, I don't know if it's any good. Well, if it's good enough for you to tell someone, we'd love to hear it too. And we will use as many as we can.
Well, pretty soon you guys are going to have to do a podcast daily, because you're going to have a lot of stories.
Well, we're hoping for February. We'd like to make the month of romance.
Oh, fun.
And the Old Prose has put on Love is in the Air on the main stage, so we're going to bring some of that concept to the podcast.
Good.
And one of the things that we would like to know from the audience is, how did you meet your spouse? Do you have an entertaining story to tell? And it doesn't have to be funny, but it has to have to catch somebody's interest. It's that sort of, when you sit around a dinner table, oh, I've got a great story to tell. We want those.
Oh, that is great. Now you can find the Old Prose Radio Hour, and you said it's an Apple podcast.
Yes.
Okay, or you can go to Google Podcast or Spotify.
Yes.
Now, you told me that you have a tutorial somewhere. Is that on your website?
Well, the last time Sheila was on here with Ken was showing people how to download it on the podcast. So we took that clip and we've put it up by the logo on our site. So it walks you through. But if you don't have a smartphone, then go to our Buzzsprout site, which is our podcast.
Oh, gotcha.
Host.
Okay.
And
all right.
It just looked like a regular website, and you can click on it. It looks just like iTunes.
Okay, yes, got it. Just like they show there. So perfect.
Yes.
Okay, and that would be the ocoldprose.org for that information.
It all comes back to that blue icon. If you see that.
Good. No, I love it. It's perfect. It's perfect. Now, you have an overview of everything you guys are doing for the whole year. So let's just briefly go through each one, and you can kind of tell us maybe the first few months of what's going on.
So this year we're actually we're not dark in July and August, we usually are, so we got entertainment going on 12 months.
Oh, you do? Okay.
So yes, you get the full thing for the membership, and for all the club meetings, obviously it's included in the membership of $20 a year. We're starting in January with T.S. Eliot's Old Possum Spoke of Practical Cats, which was the inspiration for Cats the musical and Cats the movie.
Oh, that's great.
So Cats is coming out in a couple of weeks. And so that'll be fun. That's actually being presented by the board. So yes, you'll find all of us doing having some fun with that. So that'll be a really nice event to kick off the year. And then February is African American History Month, so we're doing, it says an interview with Maya Angelou. If you like, it's a reenacted interview.
Okay.
So that'll be interesting. The next one in March is a comedy, An Actor's Nightmare, by Christopher Drang, and that's about, I think it's an accountant who gets mistaken for the understudy and then has to go on and play the part, but he doesn't know the line. So,
okay.
And going forwards, we've got things like May, Oscar, George, and Noel will be readings from Oscar Wilde, George Bernard Shaw, and Noel Coward. We've got some tragedy and comedy, mystery scenes we'll pull in. That's not Shakespeare, but we'll pull in from some interesting plays.
Okay.
Shakespeare on the Patio we're going to be doing this year. Yeah. And we're going to wrap up the year with 'Tis the Season, a holiday celebration.
What is Angels in America?
That was a Pulitzer Prize-winning play by Tony Kushner.
Oh, okay.
So that's got won several awards, of which I know the Pulitzer Prize, and I think it won a Tony as well.
Okay.
So we'll do some scenes from that.
Great.
But the interesting thing about the lineup is they are predominantly staged readings. So we hold auditions that we advertise in the Globe. There are rehearsals, and they are enacted, but you don't have to memorize. You're expected to know your lines, obviously, really well. But I find I tend not to be on the stage, so I'm the audience. And I find that when someone's acting really well and it's a good story, you don't even see they're carrying a piece of paper. You're just in the moment.
Right.
And there are lots of parts throughout here. So it's both a variety for the audience and also for people who are coming in who haven't acted before or haven't done it since school or think they might like to, or they want to get involved in the production side, because every show, however big or small, needs direction and production to some extent, or some props maybe. So there's a role for everybody, which is what I think is so interesting about this.
No, that's great, and you have such a good variety too, so it'll appeal to just about anybody.
Yeah, the planning team has gone all out on this year.
No, and you guys have a good time doing it too. You make it sound really fun. So
we do.
Yeah,
we do.
And you guys have a good time. All right, well, wonderful. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you
for the information. I appreciate it, and good luck to you guys in your broadcast.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having us.
Thanks. And if you want any information about the podcast that we talked about, you can always go to ocoldpros.org and listen up on your phone, or you can listen online. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Sharon. I am so pleased to welcome you to JTV. We're a 24/7 home shopping network focused exclusively on jewelry and gemstones. And because we believe every woman deserves to be lifted up, we love to help her sparkle, keep her informed, and make her smile. Our viewer is passionate about jewelry and gemstones, and we share her passion. Because of that, she keeps coming back, making us one of the top retailers in the United States. We sell extraordinary products at extraordinary prices. Welcome to JTV.
Save now at LA Carpet & More's 50% off sale.
Buy direct and save 50% on carpet and 50% off tile.
Plus, get 5 years 0% financing.
LA Carpet, #1 for you.
Save now at LA Carpet & More's 50% off sale.
Buy direct and save 50% on carpet and 50% off tile.
Plus, get 5 years 0% financing.
LA Carpet, #1 for you.
Come to the world premiere of Oi, It's Christmas. Sing along with the Hallmark Holiday Band. Hear the stories behind some of your favorite holiday tunes. Only one performance, Sunday, December 15th at 2 p.m. Tickets are on sale now at the Performing Arts Center, $10 and $12 each. See you there.
Mind in Memory program at Mission Hospital is an outpatient program specifically designed for patients with a memory disorder who have developed a mental health issue, such as depression, anxiety, or paranoia. Patients are welcome every day, Monday through Friday, up to 4 days a week. On-site meals and snacks are included, and transportation to and from the program is available. The program focuses on improvement in overall mood, function, and concentration, as well as a decrease in depression or anxiety. Call today to find out if you or your loved one qualifies for the Mind and Memory program.
Individual care, specialized care. At Harvard Eye Associates, we care about your vision and quality of life. Our trusted doctors provide a wide range of multi-specialty services for the treatment of medical eye conditions, all within one practice. Come join the circle of care at Harvard Eye Associates, where the future of vision is today.
And good morning, everyone. Joan Milliman is here, and she is with the Roberts Rules Study Club. Now, their meeting is not this Saturday, but the following Saturday, which is the 14th. So I'd like to welcome you.
Hi.
Good to see you,
Nice
as
to be
always. And today we're talking about secondary motions, right?
Right, yeah, it's a continuation from last time.
Okay.
Actually, Jonathan Adler wanted more time because he wanted to get into some of these secondary motions a little bit more. And if you don't know what you're doing, you can get totally confused.
Okay.
If any of you saw the impeachment ceremonies yesterday with the 4 professors,
okay,
you'll notice that the chair was trying to introduce the professors, and some of the delegates wanted the meeting delayed. So they kept making motions like a privileged motion, which usually takes precedence over precedence, whatever it is, over the other motions. But he had already started the introductions, and he said to this fellow, well, we will hear your motion after the introduction. And indeed he did, but his motion was to delay the whole thing another week. And so they took a vote on it. They had to vote. So it was not, at first it was just an aye vote, you know.
Yeah.
And you couldn't tell who won. So someone called roll call. So they went through everybody and they say, so-and-so, aye or nay. And then the secretary repeats the name and what the vote was. And they do it very fast.
Yeah.
And here, you know, we push a button and you can see immediately on the screen who voted what way. But Congress is still doing it the old-fashioned way, and checking names off and finding out who voted what way. So I thought it was interesting that the chair was really up on Robert's rules, but it's subtle.
Yeah.
And unless you know what he's saying or doing, you say, oh, okay, they're just interfering with the procedure.
Right.
But they weren't. They were and they weren't. But he knew what was going on, and he was able to continue the process.
So what makes something a secondary motion?
Well, anything that isn't the main motion is a secondary motion.
All right.
And there are categories, which I kind of explained last time. Subsidiary motions are motions that are treating the main motion, like an amendment, for example, is a subsidiary motion. They change or refine the main motion.
Okay.
And they're ranked so that the main motion is made, but then someone says, I wish to amend, I move to amend this.
Okay, so an amendment is a motion.
Yes, an amendment is a motion, but it's ranked above the main motion. So that means that amendment has to be voted on before the main motion. It makes sense, it's logical.
Right, right.
And then above that, though, if someone wants to place this whole thing back in committee, and they make that motion, I move to send this back to committee for further work, and they vote on it, and it's passed, then the motion is dropped, and it goes back to committee. And that takes precedence over the main motion.
Okay.
Okay. Then privileged motions, which are kind of tricky, but they have nothing to do with the main motion, but they pertain to special matters of importance. Often it's physical comfort of the assembly.
Okay.
It's too hot, or I can't hear, or and they need recognition. They have to be recognized. You can't just blurt them out. In fact, both the subsidiary motions and the privilege motions need to be recognized.
Okay.
And they usually outrank subsidiary motions because it might be some kind of an emergency.
Okay.
Or not. It may just be a way to interfere, and they do that. Then the third category of secondary motions are incidental motions, and these motions can interrupt, and they're often things like point of order, and the chair has to recognize the person. What is your point of order? And they say maybe a motion was made out of order or something, and they say that, and then the chair rules on it.
Okay.
And they either agree or not.
All right.
And the chair's ruling is usually it, unless the body disagrees, and then they can protest his ruling.
Okay.
His or her ruling. So it gets interesting. You can say orders of the day. That means that somehow the assembly is not following the agenda for the day, and you can call that out. And usually, all that happens is they go, "Oh, we get back to the orders of the day."
Okay.
Because often things are timed, and they're supposed to be brought up at a certain time because we have a speaker coming in 15 minutes. Stuff like that.
Okay.
So these they're not unusual, but they're less used than our normal normal subsidiary motions. They're not ranked. Those motions that you can call out are not ranked. That is, they can just take precedence right away because they have to.
Yeah.
And,
interesting. Okay.
But actually, if you go to Robert's Rules, this lovely book, in the back, there's a list of all the possible motions that are available, and there are 86 of them.
Wow.
But most meetings survive with 12.
Okay.
And if you don't know what those 12 are, sometimes you get in the weeds if you're the chair. So we're going to be discussing these motions and looking at some of them a little more in depth. And every motion has not all motions require a second, like the incidental motions don't require a second.
Okay.
But subsidiary motions and privilege motions do. And then some of them are debatable and some of them aren't. And what do you debate? Well, I move to adjourn. Is that debatable? You either are going to adjourn or you're not.
Yeah.
So you just take the vote. It's not amendable.
Okay.
And it's not debatable. You're either going to do it or you're not. And that's what they mean by it's not debatable or amendable.
Right. Okay.
But some of them, like if you want to limit debate, that's quite something. Like you might want to limit the debate to every person gets only 2 minutes rather than 10.
Right.
And that requires a second. And it's not debatable, but it can be amended as to the length of time. For example, oh no, I wish to amend it to 5 minutes. And you'd have to vote on that amendment and then vote on whether you want to limit debate or not. And because limiting debate interrupts a person's privilege of debating, it takes a 2/3 vote.
Okay.
So it sounds complicated, but it's really pretty logical. And as you use these other motions, you get used to how they all work together.
Yeah.
And it's interesting to watch Congress work because you see these little things coming up, and the chair is pretty canny about how to handle them.
Yeah, and so they have to be. They should be anyway.
They have to be. They should be, right. And the members also need to know what's going on. Otherwise, they don't get recognized. They don't get what they want.
Right.
So it pays to know your Robert's Rules.
All right. So as I mentioned, your next meeting is December 14th, Saturday at 9 o'clock over at the Towers. And if anyone would like to go to, you certainly can.
Yes, and we certainly are inviting every new board member to come.
Okay.
At least come once and experience it, because I was invited as a board member, and it really did help me to understand what was going on in the meeting and to help make the meetings run smoothly.
Okay, good idea. Good to see you.
Nice to
you
be
take
here.
care.
Thank you.
We'll see you again. And remember, their meeting is not this Saturday, it's next Saturday, December 14th.
And Merry Christmas to
Yes,
you, and
to you
Happy
too.
Hanukkah and everything if I don't see you.
All right, and we'll be back.
So, Greg, it's a lot to take in.
And I know that's hard to hear, but the doctors caught it early.
Hi, Blake. My dad has cancer.
And I know how hard that is to hear. But you're in the right place.
And Dr. Pascal and her team, they know what to do.
They know what to do.
The doctors know what to do.
So here's the plan. First off, we're going to give you all this information.
The Crean Family Farm is a special section of the zoo where you can pet and feed goats and sheep, learn about animals, ride the train, and the new 50 monkey Ferris wheel.
Behind us, the train is going by, so Ethan's going to tell us a little bit about the farm and how it got its name.
Sure. So the farm opened in 2004 as the Crean Family Farm. We did have a smaller farm area in the zoo that dates back to the 1970s. It was starting to show its age, and we knew we could do more with the farm area. So that's when a campaign started for a new family farm area in the zoo. And the Crean family came in with a lead gift donation towards this project. So they are named, and it's named the Crean Family Farm. We have a variety of rare breed farm animals. So those are breeds of livestock, of goats and sheep and pigs and cows that are not very common anymore. So breeds that may have been common 100 or 150 years ago and now have sort of gone away. So we want to represent those heritage breeds here at the zoo. In addition to the rare breeds, we also are starting to incorporate some play areas and interactive elements for smaller children that relate to the farm area. And also we have homes for many of our education animals, so the animals that we use in programs for visitors coming to the zoo and also schools. So we have all of that represented in the farm. And on top of that, we have a large classroom. It's literally on top of that because it's the second floor of our barn. And the rides, we have a carousel, the conservation carousel, the Zoofari train ride, and the new 50 monkey Ferris wheel, which talks about the story of the 50 monkeys at Prentice Park.
The Santa Ana Zoo is located right off the 5 freeway off 1st Street on Chestnut Avenue in Santa Ana. Very simple to get to. The zoo is open 7 days a week from 10 to 4, closed major holidays. There is a senior rate, 60 years and over, of $9. Wheelchairs and electric scooters are available for rent. For more information, visit their website at www.santaanazoo.org.
Number one choice for wood flooring and more is LA Carpet.
Now during their 2-day sale, visit their showroom now and get 65% off wood flooring, laminate, and waterproof flooring.
Plus, get 5-year, 0% financing.
Carpet, number one for you.
I'd like to welcome some guests today that are involved with the Republican Club of Laguna Woods. And first, I'd like to welcome Carol Blanchard. And Carol, are you the president of the Republican Club? All right.
President of the Republican Club.
Well, great
of
to have
Laguna
you.
Woods.
Great to have you here today.
Thank you.
And you're going to introduce Jessica Adams, and you are in affiliation now with something called the Salt and Light Council,
Yes.
which I've never heard of. So welcome.
Thank you. Thank you
All
very
right.
much.
So Jessica is going to be one of your guests coming up?
Yes, she is, and
Yeah.
she is the chairman of the Orange County Council of the Salt and Light Group, a 501c3 nonprofit that reaches out to faith-based institutions as well as conservative organizations, encouraging integrity and biblical participation, regarding elections and other conservative causes. Salt and Light Council, along with Herman Cain, supports the Election Integrity Project of California in their efforts to bring integrity to California electoral system, thus the collaboration with the EPI California. Jessica heads the Salt and Light Council of Orange County, and she's here on behalf of both organizations. Since EPIC was not able to make it today, she'll be sharing information about our event Tuesday, December the 10th at the Performing Arts Center with our special guest, Herman Cain.
Yeah, very good. Well, welcome. Nice to have you here today. Now, first I have to ask, since I've never heard of this before, where does that name come in, Salt and Light Council?
So as Ms. Carroll was explaining, we are a 501c3 nonprofit organization, nonpartisan, and we are a faith-based organization that supports a lot of conservative organizations, such as the Laguna Woods Republican Club and others, Newport Harbor Republican Women's Group, Laguna Niguel, et cetera, Federated. So we like to encourage the faith-based institutions, i.e. churches, Catholic parishes, and synagogues and so forth, and their leadership and community to get more involved with regards to the political realm as far as elections is concerned.
Okay, so the first question that I would have on that is the separation of church and state. So how much can they be involved with certain things? And I know that, it doesn't matter what your party is, what your belief is, that's always been something that's been in the forefront.
Yes.
And no matter which way things are looked at, a lot of times that's brought up, well, wait a minute, how can they be a nonprofit or church-based organization and yet getting involved with the political system?
Right. So with Salt and Light Council, actually, we're more of a conservative perspective and view per se, but we support churches and faith-based institutions to help them understand under their 501c3 how they're able to participate. And so we have law firms that are in collaboration with us that help with those particular legalities and more detailed information. So what we like to do is encourage that community to be more proactive in, i.e., for example, voter registration. A lot of times we find in our research that a lot of the faith-based communities have been a little bit reluctant to be involved in just voting or allowing themselves to know about candidacies and what's supporting their voice and view. So with the church and state, or what you were discussing earlier, sharing with us, that really isn't much of a play per se because, quite frankly, our Constitution speaks very clearly about the protection of the church's voice. And so the church is not very much sometimes aware of where they're able to stand. And so we educate them on that. And yeah, make it easy.
So again, I have to ask where the name comes from. Salt, the salt part, the light part I get. But the salt part,
it comes from the scripture in regards to being, the Lord Jesus Christ talks about being salt and light on the earth and bringing truth and light.
The light part, like I said, I know, but I haven't heard that one
because
before.
If you have some food, you got to have a little bit of salt.
Well, yeah,
taste,
you definitely do. Yes, I agree. So it sounds like whatever organization is out there, religious organization, the main focus of the Salt and Light Council is to how to look at the legalities or what you can and cannot do. And as you said, again, it doesn't matter which faith it is. Usually they kind of hold back. There's there's certainly been organizations that have been stepped up to certain things that they believe in and have maybe not campaigned for a candidate, so to speak, but maybe for a certain cause or for or against this change or whatever it may be. I certainly have seen that.
Yes, that's correct. And it's a lot of times the voice of the church has been subdued. So here we educate them on how they can be proactive without that misunderstanding and being able to communicate and convey the message in a positive, a positive way and conservative way, but to let the church understand their participation, they are American citizens, is so needed, because a lot of times I think we get a little bit intimidated in the church and saying, I don't want to overstep. But see, under their 501c3, there's laws that protect them, that they can say, you know, in a proper way, in a loving way.
And I would think that there would be more reluctancy in an area, a state like California, not because of any political bent or anything like that, but what I'm saying, there's less of a tradition than, say, churches in the South.
Right.
Where, again, no matter what side they're on, they're a lot more vocal in those areas of the country than they are here.
Right.
You know, I would think anyway. So, are you going to be one of the speakers on?
Actually, I'm actually assisting as a salt and light consultant. I've been helping with the Election Integrity Project of California and their organization, and along with the Laguna Woods Republican Club, we're all co-hosting this wonderful event. As a matter of fact, it was Herman Cain that contacted the EPICA. So we were excited to hear that, he's for the project and bringing integrity into our electoral system. There's so much that you can glean from the EPICA. And Miss Linda Payne, she's the co-founder, along with Ruth Weiss, who's the president, they will be speaking at this event to give you a bit more information about the organization and how to support them so that our votes can be counted for.
Yeah, so Herman Cain, of course, he ran for president about 10 years ago?
Yeah,
I think, something like that.
2011.
Yeah, and does he live in the area here? How did you get him to, I mean, you said he contacted you folks?
He contacted the EPICA. He heard about their project, and he was a staunch supporter, especially if it happened here in Orange County with all the voter issues and so forth. So he was very intrigued and said, you know what? I want to join in and support. So yeah, we were excited to hear from him to call us, and especially on his platform, he supports a lot of conservative views, pro-life views, family conservative views. So we're excited that he's joining and coming to speak.
Yeah, that's quite a big name. I mean, he's still on talk shows and all kinds of different things.
Yes.
And, so that's really good. I want to remind people that, again, this is December 10th. So it is next week.
Tuesday.
Thank you. And it's at 6 o'clock at the Performing Arts Center. And, they're requesting a tax-deductible donation to the Election Integrity Project of California. You're not required to do that, but if you'd like to. But everyone is welcome to come there.
Oh, yes, everyone's welcome.
I mean,
to
I
come.
think that's just the speaker the people that you're going to have there alone. No matter what you may think, you've got somebody who's very well known throughout the country.
Oh, definitely. We'd love to encourage also our college students to come out and just to cheer us on. And Mr. Cain, is just a privilege to have him to speak to our crowd of young and old.
Yeah.
And so,
well, and the people here in Laguna Woods are educated.
Yes.
We just sponsored a Constitution class for 12 weeks.
Oh,
we had
very
a
good.
class of 30. So people are really interested and loyal to their country, and we hope they'll all come and hear Herman Cain.
Yeah, it's going to be a great event. And again, next Tuesday, December 10th, 6 o'clock at the Performing Arts Center. And you are requesting an RSVP, right?
Just for people outside the gates.
Oh,
so
outside
that we
the
can
gates.
get them in.
Okay, all right. So
and the program starts at 7 o'clock.
Oh, 7. The doors open at
6.
6. Okay,
yeah,
the program
so
at
come
7.
and get a good seat.
All right, very good. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Yeah,
Thank
and
you
good
so
to
much.
see you.
Thank you
We'll
very
see you
much
back again
for having
sometime.
us.
Thank you.
And we'll be right back.
Most real estate agents stick to the 3 Ps of marketing. They place it on the MLS, they put up a sign, and pray that it sells. Laguna Premier Realty takes a different approach to marketing your home. From professional and high-quality photos to high-definition video, single property websites, and 3D virtual tours. We will make your property stand out and, most importantly, sell. So whether you are looking to list your current home or find your dream home in the village, Laguna Premier Realty is here to help.
Welcome back. Jorge Rubel is here from the Laguna Beach Community Clinic, and he has some great information to tell us about the clinic and all of the services that they offer. Welcome.
Thank you for having us today.
You're welcome. So, very interesting. You know, I think people may or may not think about Laguna Beach as serving this community, but tell me how that works.
Yeah, so the clinic actually has been around for, believe it or not, 49 years, and it initially started off as a free clinic, and then throughout time it became a nonprofit, and you know, began to see patients on a sliding scale basis, and didn't really take insurance other than the county insurance. But again, with the Affordable Care Act, things have changed, and the clinic has kind of undergone a metamorphosis again. And now the clinic continues to serve who we serve and still have a sliding scale, but take different insurances, whether it be Medicare, Medi-Cal, PPO. So we're there to serve anybody who needs a medical home.
So what would be the difference if someone was to go to a community clinic versus a hospital or maybe a doctor's office here in the area?
I think what separates us and makes us a little bit unique is I think we truly are a medical home in the sense of we really try to coordinate the care from multiple aspects, especially as we tend to get older. The chronic medical issues tend to be more complicated. You need to see different subspecialists. Things become a little bit more complicated, and everybody needs to be on the same page, on the same team, communicating and making sure things are being followed up on. And even though you know you have to see a large number of patients, I think I'm still able to sit down and get to know my patients really well, get to know them, their families, in a very personalized way, but still providing that quality of care. I think when you look at the clinic as a whole, and everybody has medical metrics that they've got to potentially meet and stuff, the clinic does really well and outperforms not only our colleagues in private practice, but our colleagues in community clinics, not just in California, but throughout the country, actually.
Okay, and what kind of services does the clinic offer?
So the clinic provides services from prenatal care, pediatrics, family medicine. We do have an internist on staff as well, but we're very fortunate also to have some specialty care on site as well, whether it's a neurologist, an endocrinologist, a nephrologist, urologist, and a neurologist all on site. Yeah,
you have all of that.
Yeah, we do.
That's great.
So we're very fortunate to have them there giving their time for our patients.
Okay, now let's say that somebody was going to someone here locally, either a doctor's office or the hospital. When they come to visit you, should they transfer those records, or how does that work?
Well, it depends. If they come and see us, first, obviously, we don't want people to incur any costs that they don't need, so making sure that we're in their network so that we're all set up to make sure things are smooth for them. In terms of the medical records, if we're lucky enough where they've been seen somewhere where they have the same electronic medical record system that we do, then it's all there for us to retrieve very easily and review. But if not, it's as simple as us following up with either the hospitals that they've been seen with or their previous primary care physician and requesting those records. And sometimes it may happen quickly, sometimes it may take a little bit more time, but we'll get it and then make sure we get the whole story.
Okay, now you did mention that you are already seeing people that are from Laguna Woods.
Yeah.
And then we have had our senior center refer down to you guys as well. So what are some of the things that our residents can look forward to when they go down there? Also, where is it located? It's right on
it's on
130 off of 133. Or?
It's if you take down the canyon.
Okay.
And are in downtown, we're right off of 3rd Street, right next to the CZQ, which is a senior center who we partner with regularly to provide services for seniors as well.
Okay, all right, good. And then what are some of the things that they could look forward to? I know you mentioned that you all have the same doctors and things like that, but what are our residents saying about you now?
I think it's really the personalized care where they're not feeling rushed. They're able to sit down and share their story, share their health to make sure that they're being heard so that we can meet their needs. I think that's a big thing. I mean, the quality of care is going to be there, but I think it's also having that time to provide that personalized care that they might not necessarily get somewhere else.
Right, right. Well, sounds great. And I like the fact that you're not very far away. What is it? It take about 15 minutes to get there from here?
15 minutes.
Right.
As long as it's not the summer, right?
Yeah, no kidding. I mean, that road can get pretty backed up, so they better be careful. That's true. You might have to leave a little earlier.
Yeah.
Transportation-wise, I know that we have buses here, so I don't know if they actually take you there. They probably would if there was an appointment.
Yeah, no, regularly some of the patients have their insurances, or depending on where they live, also set up ride shares where they get dropped off and then picked up after their appointments, so which will also help with the parking in Laguna.
Yeah, no kidding. All right, great. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate you taking the time.
Thank you for having us again. Really appreciate it.
You're welcome. And remember, if you wanted to go down to the Laguna Beach Community Clinic, you can always give them a call at 949-494-0761 or go to lbclinic.org. We'll be right back. Welcome back. How are you guys? What do you got for us for Friday?
You know, I was reading about, because this is the anniversary of the repeal of prohibition, and reading something about
about
bourbon.
About drinking.
Yes. All right. Well, our movie coming up on Friday, this is a classic. Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. This is the original with Gene Wilder. Also, Jack Albertson is in this. And I think we know the story. It's about a poor boy who seeks one of the 5 coveted golden tickets that can be found in a bar of Willy Wonka chocolate. And, well, he turns out he's one of the last ones. He is the last one to come across it. And the prize is a tour of the mysterious chocolate factory and meeting Willy Wonka and all the things that happen along with it. And it is really quite a movie, and considering that this came about at a time when you know, there was no computer-generated graphics or anything like that, it's remarkable what they did.
Yeah, they did a great job. It's such a great story, too.
Yeah.
I like it. Very uplifting and fun, and I think I've seen it 100 times.
Yeah.
I like it a lot. It's great.
Good movie.
And that is when?
That is this Saturday at
Saturday?
Saturday.
Friday.
And 2 p.m. and at 7 p.m., sponsored by Kaiser Permanente.
Excellent, excellent. All right, and then on Monday, we have Gloria Bell, which is about a free-spirited woman in her 50s who seeks out love at LA dance clubs. She is the divorcee who spends her nights on the dance floor, and we have a clip for you, so take a look.
It gets me nowhere to tell you no.
Hi, Peter. I haven't heard from you in a while, so I thought I'd give you a call. That's it. I love you. It's your mother.
Life just goes by in a flash, like that.
I know. You tell me the same thing every 10 years.
Love is in the air.
You come here a lot?
Yes. No, not a lot. I mean, sometimes.
What's your name?
Gloria.
And I don't know if I'm being foolish.
Hello?
Don't know if I'm
Are you asking me out?
Ow, ow. You want more off the sides?
A little bit more than that, actually.
love is in the air.
A little more. If you were water, I'd be a glass. If you were a foot, I'd be a sock. I can't get you out of my head. What happened to me with you, I thought it was never gonna happen again.
Happy birthday, sweetheart.
this my ex-husband?
Then you were in love.
No. Wasn't an easy situation.
Really?
I searched for your eyes. I didn't exist.
Who is this guy, Mom?
I love you, you understand?
Get away from the car.
Oh, that looks like a fun movie.
Yeah.
It looks like something I need to watch. So basically, it's about, you know, the free-spirited woman in her 50s, and she looks like she's having fun. And that stars Julianne Moore, John Turturro, and Karen Pistorius. And that, again, will be on Monday.
Yes.
So, and that's brought to you by Escrow Options.
Very good. And coming up this
holiday
Saturday,
stuff.
the Holiday Festival is happening over at Clubhouse 2, beginning at 6 p.m., and you're all invited. This is a free event. You don't need to reserve anything. You just show up, and they're going to have Santa there, and snow, and Mrs. Claus, and games and crafts, and tree lighting, and performances by the Sugar Plums, and hot chocolate and cookies, and just a lot of fun. Spirited cocktails for purchase. So those you'll need to buy.
Nice.
Maybe
Didn't even know they had that.
Yeah, maybe they'll have wild turkey in them.
Okay, so what's the next thing you have? I have on December 19th, the India Club of Laguna Woods is having a welcoming Christmas. And they did say when we interviewed them that Sunshine Luti will be there singing lots of fun songs. And they were going to have something a little non-traditional for food. They were going to have vegetarian or non-vegetarian dinner. They still were going to have some Indian favorites. But other than that, it's going to be something non-traditional.
All right.
So that looks good.
That'll be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, very good. The weather is really nice today. We're going to have a few scattered clouds out there today. But other than that, pretty darn nice. Now, tomorrow, as I said, we could start to see rain coming in the evening. And then going to Saturday and Sunday. Right now, scattered showers on those 2 days. Friday, you know, I saw this morning it could come in here maybe 6:30 or so. Again, very light rain, and then a little bit heavier on Saturday and Sunday, but not like what we had yesterday, where we got over an inch of rain. Then Monday, things start to clear up. So, but you look at those temperatures, and we're just staying in the mid to low 60s, and then getting quite cool overnight and around the area today. And really, this has been kind of the norm over the last week or so, just staying in the mid-60s. Big Bear, high of 44. And again, Palm Springs, only a high of 65. So that's cold for Palm Springs.
Yeah, I remember one time we went there and it was like, it didn't snow in Palm Springs, it was all the way home. It was snow on the sides of the
I've been in
mountains.
Palm Springs when, you know, you look up at the San Jacinto Mountains and the snow is down really low.
Yeah, so it's crazy. All right, so tomorrow we have United Mutual Update, we have BodyFlex Sports, we have Lutheran Heritage Club, and Sterling Financial. So,
all right.
Big show tomorrow. All right, have a great day in the village. We'll see you tomorrow.